Doing what's right is not always the easy thing to do. As Tom walked through the early morning air toward the LDS chapel, his mind was filled with worry. He remembered the planning he and Lily had done regarding their summer marriage. And now, he sort of shuddered at the thought. Now he must tell her that it was all off. Well, no, not off, but at least postponed.
How can I tell her? Off or postponed? Either way, it'll be the same to her. She'll be broken-hearted. I'm glad we didn't tell her parents yet. My mother and father wouldn't care, but hers would. Of course, we're going to run away if they try to stop us. But now it doesn't matter. It's sort of over and done with now.
Tom met Lily just as they were ready to go in for seminary. They were both late, as they often had been the last few weeks. Some days they hadn't come to seminary at all.
Hi, Tom. Say, what's the matter? You look like you're the saddest man in the world. Cheer up. After all, the prettiest girl in the world is in love with you, and she's going to marry you in just 60 more days. When can we tell the other kids?
I don't know. Maybe we hadn't better tell them at all.
What do you mean? We have to tell them sometime.
We won't have to tell them if we decide not to get married.
Tom, don't kid me about it.
I'm not kidding, Lily. The last few days we've both been kidding. But now we have to change. We can't get married. I don't have a job or an education or nothing. How could we get married?
We talked about this before and...
Come on, let's go in now. We can talk it over after school.
I can't go in there now. I'm going home.
Then I'll come and see you tonight, and we'll talk it over.
I don't want to see you tonight or any time.
It was a long day for Tom. He had hoped Lily would not be so hurt. He'd known he had to tell her, but he wished he could have done it more gently.
Lily will get over it, and so will I. It'll be sad for both of us for a while. But if we really love each other, things will work out so that someday we'll be able to get married.
That night, Tom was surprised to see Lily at the bus stop where she usually left the bus. She beckoned to him to get off.
I thought we'd better have a talk about this. I want to know what happened. What changed your mind?
I just did some thinking, Lily. We can't get married now. Maybe in a few years, but not now.
What changed your mind?
I met Elder Tyson at MIA last night, and he...
It's not his business what we do. Why did he have to talk to you? You shouldn't listen to him.
He's just interested in us finding happiness.
We had happiness, and he's destroyed it.
Just at that moment, the elders drove up to the place where Lily and Tom stood.
Is everything all right?
Oh, she's mad, but it'll be all right.
I'd like to talk to both of you if I could. Maybe I could help.
The elders got out of the car and walked over to talk with Lily.
Elder Tyson, why don't you mind your own business? You think you're so smart going around telling people what to do. Tom and I aren't little kids. We don't need people making decisions for us. We can make our own decisions.
Lily, I don't want to tell people what to do. All I want to do is make sure that they have all the ideas that they need to make the right decision.
We made the right decision, and you spoiled everything.
He didn't spoil anything, Lily. I made my own decision, and if you'd listen, you could find out why.
It's like I told Tom. You can still get married, but you need a few more years to prepare.
Why should we wait? Why should we care about a mission and temple marriage?
Look, Lily, we both decided we want to follow Jesus. It's plain to me that he's telling us to wait until we can do the things he wants us to do, and until we can get married in the temple.
If your love for each other continues, you'll be able to follow Jesus someday. He wants people to be prepared before they do something. Jesus said, "For which of you, intending to build a tower, sitteth not down first, and counteth the cost, whether he has sufficient to finish it? Lest haply, after he hath laid the foundation, and is not able to finish it, all that beholdeth begin to mock him, saying, This man began to build, and was not able to finish." Lily, Jesus knows your heart is breaking now. But he knows, too, that you'll be happiest if you count the cost before getting married. You have a lot to do before you can enter into marriage, ready to make it succeed.
I still don't see why Jesus would want us to wait. Waiting isn't happiness, and I'm sure he wants us to be happy.
That's right. He wants us to be happy and live an abundant life. But sometimes that requires waiting and making sacrifices. He himself was willing to make a great sacrifice. Once he said, "Foxes have holes, and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man had not where to lay his head." He had no home. Later, he was cruelly placed upon a cross and gave his life so that we might live.
I don't think Jesus wants us to wait. He wants us to be happy. Waiting is hard. He doesn't expect us to wait. If we get married, he'll help us and we'll be all right.
Jesus made it clear that he expects his followers to be willing to make sacrifices in order to follow him. He once called these necessary sacrifices a cross. He said, "And whosoever doth not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple."
We'd give all we have to the Lord, but why do we have to wait? He doesn't expect people who love each other to wait.
He wants you to wait, because if you get married now, you'll have a difficult time. You won't be able to follow him like you desire. Others have said that they would follow him, but then they made excuses. Let me read what Jesus had to say about that. "And he said unto another, Follow me. But he said, Lord, suffer me first to go and bury my father. And another also said, Lord, I will follow thee, but let me first go bid them farewell, which are at home at my house. And Jesus said, No man having put his hand to the plow, and looking back, is fit for the kingdom of God." These two men said, "We want to follow, but let us do something else first." He doesn't expect us to suffer as he did, or make the sacrifices which he had made. But he does expect us to make whatever sacrifices are necessary to follow him.
And right now, Lily, the best sacrifice we can make is to wait. That way we can serve him best. I can be ordained an elder and go on a mission. And later we can go to the temple.
You might be right. But Tom, it's either we get married this summer or else never.
Lily, we can't get married this summer.
Lily turned and walked away. As Tom watched her go, his heart was sad. He wished he could change things, but only time could do that.